Buenos días, gracias por estar aquí en un nuevo episodio de Té con Manzanilla. Yo la verdad es que estoy emocionada. ¿Por qué? Porque creo que es el primer episodio que además grabo en vivo y sale ese mismo día. Entonces estoy como, wow, qué padre que podamos hacer esto. Segundo, porque Victoria, mi hermana, mi coach, y mi amiga del alma está conmigo y eso cambia todo. Así que le doy la bienvenida. Welcome, Victoria. I'm telling the people I'm so excited because this is the first time that I recorded an episode and goes direct to live almost because after we record I'm going to put it in Spotify and all the process never will exist, and probably this woman that is in from here in red never exists. Always recognize what you did and support and the way you did it. So it's a pleasure that you are here today. Thank you so
Thank you, sister. And I don't doubt for a moment that if I wasn't on this earth for some reason, you would still be this beautiful, stunning lady in red because you would have found a way. God would have showed you a path somehow. I was just the vessel that He chose. And I'm so grateful for that. So thank you for having me.
of course, this is yours and this is your podcast. Time.
We're sharing.
Well, I think there is many things that I want to ask you, like you share with us, because I think honestly I interview a lot of people in Spanish, in English, but no one talks about the way about fear, the way that you talk about fear. And it's something that I found in every session that I have with someone that have eating disorder. It's fear. It's fear, different kind of fear, but fear is always there.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, if we didn't have the fear, if your clients, if my clients, if the past you didn't have the fear, everyone would be recovered already because there wouldn't be any fear to step into to face in order to recover. And facing fear is so
Yes, it's so hard. I think you told me like it's the hardest thing that you are going to do in your life, but that is going to help you to keep doing your life in a better and in a better. But how we do that? That's a big question.
it's a question it's very simple, but then there's also layers to it because the simple answer is, and I'm doing my best to speak slower than normal because of your incredible Spanish speakers. And I know that when I get excited, I tend to speed up my voice. So I'm going to make an effort to be slower. If you notice a change in my voice, because obviously we're friends, you know how I speak. Where was I even going with this? Fear and eating disorder. If people, oh yeah, how do we do it? Right, here we go. So it's very simple and many layers, as I was saying. So the simple thing is, and I love Nike's slogan, it's just do it. Because fear, people don't like to hear this, right? But fear doesn't control your legs or your arms or your mouth or your body. It feels like it does, meaning if the eating disorder is telling you you cannot eat that, you have to run, the thought and the feeling of the impulse to do those things and to not eat and to run are there. But it's not forcing your legs to move and to go on a run, and it's not stopping your arms from feeding you. It feels like it is because it can feel so consuming.
Yeah.
But my job as a coach is to remind the person over and over their own power of choice. And that is facing the fear, because fear only works, in brackets, when you run from it. The more
Yes.
you run from it, the stronger it gets. And then the mind's like, "See, we need to be running from this over and over again because it is so scary. Bad things are going to happen." And you perpetuate that and make it bigger every time you run away from the fear and do what the fear tells you to do.
Yeah.
So, how do we then face our fears? For me, everyone's different, but I say going all in is different for everyone. But what I mean by going all in is with your capacity of your nervous system, you go all in recovery to your capacity every single day. And that will look like facing your fears every day. You will feel afraid, you will feel anxious, you will feel shame, you will feel guilt, you will feel panic, all those things. But you still have a choice to breathe, practice self compassion, take the action anyway, be ready for the guilt and the shame. It's not like a surprise. It's not like, oh no, I all of a sudden feel shame and guilt. Well, you knew that was going to happen
Yeah.
because you took action against the fear. Be ready for that. Acknowledge and celebrate what you've done, even if it feels shit and wrong. And you just keep going. And that's why support, I think, is so important to face the fear, because it's, like I said, it's hard.
It's hard and it's simple at the same time. I do remember you say that to me. It's very simple. Just do different that the eating disorder tell you to do, and that's it. You will not have an eating disorder, right? The thing is like, wow, you can do that. And I think you say something also. I want to pick some phrases that you just told us. One is like, everyone likes to hear this. Why?
Because then we have to take full responsibility and look at ourselves and take responsibility, admit that we're not making that choice. Another great question around people not liking this is, if either someone was holding a gun to your head or a gun to your loved one's head, God forbid, would you be able to eat the thing and rest if your life or your family's life depended on it? I've only come across one person in my entire life of coaching that has said, no, they wouldn't be able to take the action. Every other person has said, yes, it would feel horrible, but I would take the action. So therefore, when people say, I can't, they're lying. They won't. They're not willing. And that sounds harsh. And I say this with so much love because, again, main job is to remind you of who the fuck you are. You have this power within you, the power of self-love, the power of choice, to come back to that realization over and over again. And even if it looks like someone's starting with saying out loud, messaging me, because I've asked people to do this depending on the person, if they choose to not take a recovered action, they choose to restrict, for example, they have to message me and say, I am choosing the eating disorder right now.
Wow.
I am unwilling to take the action that I know I need to take. And that's not to shame the person, because we meet it with love, but it helps to take that responsibility, because only you can recover. Like, you can have the best coach in the world, you can receive all the love and support in the world, but only you can take the action and do the recovery for you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I 100% agree because we work together. But the thing is, like, sometimes people, I think, I mean, all of us, we were there. We used to think, or we not think, we used to feel powerless, that we don't have the power to decide. And I think, or I hear you say like you had to step in your powerful or in your power zone or in your power inner power and decide. So what I want to ask you, the decision part, where you can find it when the fear is working all inside of you and you can find that power, where you found it.
You have a great coach or a great support person who can see that power within you first and keep reflecting that power back to you every time they speak to you, every time they see you, every question they ask you. Because I'm unwilling to see someone how they see themselves. I meet them where they're at. But if this person is like, I'm unworthy, I'm deserving, I'm broken, you're fucking not. I am unwilling to see you like that. I hear you, I'm by your side, I'm loving you. And you are not that. That is so far from who you are. So reflection back to remind you. And also it can be helpful to think of a time in your past where you've made a decision. It doesn't have to be about eating disorder. It can be about anything else, where you've made a decision and you knew that whatever someone did or did not do, there's no way they would have changed your decision. Laser focus with this decision you made. Most people have at least one example of whether it's when they were younger or whatever, like when they decided something and they were like, I'm doing it, or I'm making this decision, whatever it takes. Because the brain likes evidence. So if we can ask ourselves, when did we last face fear? When did we last be courageous to face something we were afraid of? When did we last decide? And that feeling of deciding, I think there's a quote somewhere, when there's no such thing more powerful than a man's mind. And
Mm,
that's true.
yes, totally true.
Yeah. So how do you get the power to decide? How do we even answer that question? Again, like reflecting back to how powerful you are. Also addressing the fact that sadly so many people have been in treatments that haven't worked and they've had an eating disorder from a child. So it was very much a push and pull thing to recover. And then you, the person in recovery, fighting back, resisting, which is normal and natural if you're told what to do and you're not ready to do the thing. You have no autonomy over your recovery. That's very typical. And so you don't even know you can choose because you spent most of your life pushing back, people trying to help you. When I get clients like that, especially younger people who their parents are paying to support through coaching, they're so surprised when I say, you don't have to recover. I mean, I said, I want you to recover. And I say this with love, but you don't have to do shit. If you leave this call and we've got action steps for you to do this and this, you don't have to do any of them. It's up to you. I want you to. I am by your side. I'll never judge you. It's your life. It's your recovery. And it gives them that space to be like, huh, it's my life and my, like,
Yeah.
it, in that space, they get to kind of connect with, I don't have to recover. And then they're left with the consequences of what happens if I choose not to recover. Go live a life with an eating disorder. I do not want that for anybody. It's horrible. It's like hell, and you might probably die.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, like me saying this, it's almost like giving permission for someone not to recover, but no one can give permission, only yourself. So when someone's at that level of like, oh, I'm choosing not to recover, even that statement brings a space to recover from a different energy of choosing to do it.
Yes. And even when you say it, you even probably it's not what we want as a coach. And if you are a family, probably you want something different. When the people say, I choose not to recover, it's power there. It's different that I'm sick. I can't recover. I try everything and nothing helps. You can see the difference even there, like, oof, because I don't know. I never met someone like say, I don't want to recover. I choosing not recover. There is something there, like, I don't know, tons of treatment that didn't work, which could be true. Well, as you explain it, even our self story is the same. Like so many times we thought that we couldn't recover. We try everything. We did everything until we choose recover.
Exactly that. And you are so right, Carla. When someone says or goes from saying, I've tried recovery, I'm trying, it's not working, I can't, to I am unwilling to recover, power right there, whether the outcome changes or not. It's that connection to your autonomy of your fucking life and your body and your brain. So even if you don't recover, you're in your power saying, I am unwilling to. Like I had a prime example, a personal example just this last week. Without making this a long story, you know, I live in the Netherlands, or people that don't know, hi, I live in the Netherlands, but I'm English. I've said I've wanted to learn Dutch like pretty much since I've been here. And then I got pregnant, and then that was the great excuse and blah, blah, blah. And actually, I was in a cafe a few days ago and a woman came up to me and she said, would you like to learn Dutch? Because I'm hearing your English and I'm actually a Dutch teacher to English people. And I said, I really appreciate you asking me. And you know what my answer is? I said, I would love to speak Dutch. However, I am unwilling to do what it takes to, to get what I say I want. I'm unwilling to put the time in because I am. And she was like, wow, I have never in my life heard someone be so honest and take responsibility and say no from a place of because I'm unwilling to do the work, not because I'm lazy. I'm not being mean to myself. I am just unwilling to do the work I know that I would need to do in order to speak fluent Dutch. I'm not willing to do it. I was, however, willing to recover from the fucking eating disorder that was taking my entire life. That I was willing.
Yeah, and I say that you've been honest with yourself, and when you show honestly, and when you show yourself with with no layers, because I think most of the time we put so many layers in our reasons to do or not to do something, and we cover ourselves there.
We do. We make excuses and, justifications. I'm not saying none of them are valid. I'm not saying that they're not valid and we're not supposed to look at them and ask how you feel about them. It's not that at all. It's always both and. So, like going back to recovery and the fear, it's not just a case of being like, oh, well, you don't want it badly enough. You're not willing to do what it takes. Okay, go and not recover by yourself then. It's not that at all. It's reminding them of their own power, being like, right, let's work together. I'm here to support you, to help you move into courage, to share my personal experiences, to give you tools, all the things. What's your version of all in? So my version of all in, because this is my fiery character, was to be like, fuck it. I'm just going to do whatever it takes. And I kind of overachieved recovery, which really served me. My overachieving personality back then, because I've healed that now, served me because I just went all in and recovered quite fast. Not everyone's like that. So if I'm working with someone who's extremely traumatized, who has a very sensitive nervous system, I'm like, right, you're the expert of your own experience. Share with me, if you're willing to recover, what does that look like for you today, this week? So for someone, it might look like unrestricted eating, which is the goal, completely unrestricted eating. But for one person, it might genuinely look like being like, right, well, I'm just going to increase my meals for now. And then next week, we're going to bring snacks in. There's no right or wrong way. It's facing the fear, and you do that with courage. Each and every one of us has courage within us, and all we have to do is summon it and be courageous. Even if we're acting and we don't believe it, we be courageous, we face the fear, repeat. You'll be so far along before you've even realized.
Yes, totally true. And I think something like it's important when you say this because, yes, all in could look different for everyone, right? Like you say, someone could be farther, someone has to stay back a little bit because, as you say, nervous system, and it's also not pushing. You can, as coaches, we can go and say, you have to do it. It's not a pushing. It's like, if we respect what we said before, is we are going to respect your times and your way. But the thing is like you had to be honest with your power. Know if you can do more or not. So
Yes.
be respectful with that part.
That's it. And like I say, a coach's job isn't to push because, I mean, it depends on the person. One of my skills is to kind of get to know someone and then use their personality to support them. Say, like for example, if someone would say to me, "Oh, that you're letting that control you, Victoria." Okay, and I'll be like, "What the fuck?" Like, no. So it depends on the person, but you can use their values and their personality depending on how you say it, to support them to get where they say they want to be. We don't have to do it alone. We can't. I don't want to say we can't do it alone. We can. I haven't. You haven't. People do. I'm not saying we can't, but I see the main reason for an eating disorder to be created in the first place, the main reason is trauma. The second reason is to try to be thin, beauty standards, and then the eating disorder genetics switch. Those are two main reasons. We don't need to heal the root to recover, but we need to heal the root to recover forever. It's a coping mechanism. We need to do the nutritional rehabilitation, the brain rewiring, and the deeper trauma stuff, the self-love stuff, the self-worth stuff, and all of that juicy goodness in between.
Yes, I think it's a whole complete package because what we do, and I thought I learned it for you, honestly, because I were looking for you. I were in training with you and everything. But I think the most what you taught me in difference to another treatments, because I've been also like taking you like study and taking courses and certification. But what I learning from you is, and no one taught us like that, is like this you had to put in your power because some treatment is like just you have a child and they can decide it and take the power, as you say before. Look, you had to decide it. You Others like they are liars. People is going to lie to you. Putting this pressure, like, no, they are people. Even sometimes they even know that they are choosing that. So as a coach, we had to tell them, hey, you are choosing this. Maybe you didn't notice it. Maybe you didn't know it yet, but you are choosing this. Let's go choose differently. And I thought when you see the whole picture and you just not put your eyes just in nourish or in nutrition and you see the other parts. Because there is people that come into me just not trying to do anything about nutrition and healing all other part. It's not going to work.
No, that can be an excuse from the eating disorder. Like, I'm going to heal all the stuff underneath first, and then I can recover. I mean, that could be a strategy that would take you years and years and years. So that's why it needs to be like a hybrid, a combination of everything. The action through the fear. So let's go back to the fear. And talking of fear, when you said there's many layers that your head brings in, there is, because ultimately it's very simple. If you look at fear and love, all these thoughts, this overthinking, these justifications, yes, but, and all this anxiety, it's fear, fear, fear. So it might sound like a story with 5 different points. It's one thing. It's all fear. Same thing, just a different flavor, just a different way of expressing itself. So what we tend to do without realizing it is we try to kind of look and justify without seeing it for exactly what it is, other than being like, oh, that massive story that my anxiety had is just one thing. It's just a ball of fear.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's easy to see it simply, but it can seem so complex in our head.
Yeah.
We look at it and be like, fear. Okay, what would love do? And move from there.
You move from there. Yeah. And it's so complex. I mean, when we say it here, like we are not trying to not not see that it's complex. I mean,
Mm.
recovery is not easy. It's easy or it's simple, but not easy. It takes a lot of courage, as you say. It takes everything that you can do in that moment. Everything inside of you is going to be there. But the thing is, like when you, I think you can recover and you didn't see that it's your responsibility to recover first. No one else is going to do it for you. No one can want it more than you. No,
No,
me, no, no. You had to want it. You had to look it forward and you had to do the steps that requires for different people to get there. If you are not a step in that zone yet and you think like, oh, well, I'm doing this for my mom. Well, I'm doing because I want to do it for any, or I don't know, whatever your reason. I think probably the question could be like, when are you going to take it for you? When are you going to see that you had to choose it?
yeah, and that changes everything. The amount of people I've coached that have been in the inpatient treatment, have had meal plans and stuff, and they've been genuinely wanting to recover, but their natural stance is resistance naturally because that's all they've ever known. When I reflect skillfully back that they literally get to choose, everything shifts for them. It doesn't make it easier, it makes it clearer. You've got
Yeah.
more clarity
Yes.
and you've got more power. You can face the fear with more courage. So, in a way, I guess it is easier. But the fears, people also look for a way around the fear. People wait to feel ready to recover. People wait to feel better about eating than to eat more. Like, you can't, if you're waiting for your feelings to feel better before you recover, you'll be waiting forever. You need to take action first when you feel awful and horrible and you want to crawl out of your skin and it feels so wrong, and you do that anyway, and you reach out to your coach if you're freaking out and you repeat that, and then you show your brain and your nervous system, hey, look, it's actually safe to eat and to gain weight and to rest. And the only way, actions speak louder than words, even for yourself. Words are important, but actions speak louder. We can talk in our head all day and say, tomorrow I'm going to rest and I'm going to eat more. But tomorrow never comes. So show me. It's like if someone was in a relationship and the trust was broken, show me I can trust you. No matter what you say, it won't make any difference. You need to show me. So you can show your brain, because you're not your brain. You can show your nervous system, which is usually your inner child, because you're not your nervous system. You have the inner child within you. Show them that it's safe to gain weight, even if it doesn't feel like it. Of course it won't. but you can take action anyway. Remember, gun to your head or your gun to your family's head. Could you take the action? You know, because people with eating disorders are very smart. They're very capable, high achieving, smart ass women mostly, and men too. We're not stupid.
Yeah, we're very smart. And we find ways, like crazy ways.
Someone with an eating disorder, they are some of the most determined, resilient, stubborn, committed people on the planet. Use all of that juicy characteristics to actually choose to recover, and it will be a lot simpler than you think it ever would be.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes me think like when we start working together, I do remember, I think we have the first call probably let's Friday. I'm not sure, right? But I would say Friday. And I think we start working maybe 4 days before that first call. And during these 4 days, when I say yes, but I didn't start working, like having another call and do it. Well, we start working, but you didn't ask anything yet until the fourth. Nothing, like not. And in that moment, when I take the decision, I say I had to stop exercise. No one asked me. You didn't ask me. It was my determination in the moment I'm choosing to recover. Obviously, I can say it in different way because in that moment it was like my determination, my rigidity, even my all my personally traits putting in, okay, I have to do this because I'm in recovery, right?
You
And I did it.
did.
Yeah. It's like crazy how we use these personal traits that keep us in the eating disorder, help us to recover it.
Exactly like I was saying, I overachieved at recovery because those who don't know my story, my anorexia, sadly, I didn't get the right recovery when I had anorexia. It morphed into bulimia and binge eating. So it was still a restrictive eating disorder, but it didn't look like that because I was binge eating a lot and then the bulimia came in. I wasn't recovering from like severe anorexia when I chose recovery. Like I was kind of forced into partial recovery and my weight restored. Okay, cool, your weight is restored, you're healed, off you go. And in my head, for 20 years, I had an eating disorder through my actions also, just I didn't look emaciated anymore. And so you don't have to be severely underweight to have an eating disorder either. But when you're determined, when you decide, like I said, my past personality trait of overachieving and doing everything the best of my ability, I use that in recovery. So if I was afraid of Nutella, I would purposely eat a shitload of Nutella to prove to myself. I was so angry that I was a grown ass woman was afraid of Nutella. Like, what the fuck? I was like, no, no. I got to a point where I was like, I've had enough. I was like, I'm eating more because I am refusing to be afraid. So I kind of overachieved it. It could have been a different energy, but that helped me at that point.
Yeah, and you had to use it. At the end, we say like you have an eating disorder because you repeat actions to have an eating disorder. So is the only thing that you had to do is repeat actions to get out to the eating disorder again and again and again. How I want to ask you, how you can keep stepping in your power during all the process. How you do that?
Again, have someone to remind you and then create a little ritual with yourself. So every morning you wake up, even if it's in bed, ideally you get out of bed and sit down or whatever works for you and do a little 5 minute even meditation. So with that part of you who knows, like whether it's a guided meditation from your coach or one you found online or just your own vision in your head, and time with intention to connect to that part of you, which is the true you, without all the conditioning, without the labels. Before any of the conditioning, there was you. You're still there. You're still in there. So if you intentionally connect that part of you, it's easier to then move through the day in your power. And then you can use your very smart intellectual brain to remind you, I have a choice. I'm saying I can't do this. I'm going to reframe it to I won't do this or I can and I will. So it's reminding yourself, and you have to remind yourself 100 times a day to start, especially if you feel powerless. A lot of people can't really connect with that empowered part because they feel so broken, and that's why they need support. But even acting as if, so as the incredible Tabitha Farrar says, recover from an eating disorder if you're acting like a person with an eating disorder.
Yeah.
To simplify it, again, actions speak louder than words. So what I said to one of my clients the other day, I was like, right, if there was a fly on the wall watching you in your home for a week, can't hear you, it can't hear your thoughts, it can only see what you're doing or not doing. Does it know you're in recovery from an eating disorder, or does it think you're in an eating disorder? And she was like, oh, fuck. Sometimes it would think I'm recovering, and sometimes it will think I'm very much in an eating disorder. So again, what anxiety does, what fear does, it complicates everything, because then we're chaotic and we're overwhelmed and we're just frozen. So
Yeah.
you can use that smart brain of yours to simplify things. If a fly on the wall was watching me now and I took an action or didn't take an action, what would it think I was doing? And you do the thing that is recovered, even though you're afraid, even though you have feelings you don't want to feel, even though it feels wrong, you do it anyway. And then over time, your brain will stop sending you all those god awful emotions. Your nervous system will stop having a panic attack every time you go to eat something that you're afraid of. And it sounds too simple, but that's how you recover. You have to be consistent with
Yeah.
repetition.
Yeah. The fear.
Oh, for sure. I have no fear. Do I have any fear about? I must have fear about something. I used to have a fear in new motherhood that I wouldn't get enough sleep. I used to do this weird thing where I noticed that it was an eating disorder thing that came back in the night. So what I would do is I'd wake up and I'd count how many hours sleep I'd had. And then I'd wake up again and I'd be like adding, and I'd be like adding the hours of sleep up as if somehow adding the hours I could control whether I had more sleep. And then when I realized what I was doing, I was like, what the fuck? No, we're not. It was my brain trying to help me because I was so afraid of being so tired. I did this whole number thing, which I used to do with calories, and I would try and count things. So I guess I was afraid of that. The fear absolutely goes. I have zero fear around weight gain, whatever it is I eat, whatever, how much rest I, zero. I'm probably afraid of other stuff. Yeah. I mean, I'm human after all. But
Yeah.
the fear goes, and the more you face fear outside of the eating disorder as well as in it, or comfort zone gets bigger
Yes.
and
I
bigger.
used to think people lie. When I have an eating disorder, I feel like, oh, people, I hear people that recovers and I say like, they are lying. I don't believe they don't have fear of anything. They should have some fears for some food, or they have to just lie and go in sneaking in the night and do exercise. But it's
Mm.
true. See, if you're being the same, it's true. You don't have fear anymore for the food.
No.
It's not food.
Oh, because you've got to the root cause. So like when people say, oh, I'm trying to stop counting, but it's hard because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, if you get to the root reason that you're counting calories in the first place, the behavior of counting calories will just go because there'll be no reason to.
Yes.
So if you heal your fear of weight gain and rewire that and heal the trauma beneath feeling safe in your body when you're bigger and all of that, there's no need to do the behavior of counting calories. So even if it's a habit, it's so easily changed and let go of because your nervous system doesn't feel like it needs that to survive. So it's like, well, that's a pointless
Yeah.
exercise to do.
Really, yes. I mean, I think I used to count the macros, the calories in some point, macros. And well, we count everything, honestly. In anorexia, you count everything. Everything that you can imagine, we count. And then when you just stop, numbers will come during your process. Yes, you will see numbers. But when you didn't give the power of that number, like, still I had to eat it. Like, I'm going to eat it. And then stop coming less and less. And now I ate. And I swear, I never see a plate anymore. Like, how many macros is this? It just,
It's
just
irrelevant to
it's
you.
irrelevant.
You change the meaning behind it. So in the eating disorder, the meaning was how much is in this meal, because if it's this much, I might gain weight and then XYZ, all these things will happen bad and wrong. Whereas now it's like you have there's no relevance whatsoever to even look at what macros or calories are in this meal. The most relevant thing is, I feel I want it. Does it taste good? Yum. Enjoy. Move on.
Yes. Yeah, and that's in, as you say, in time. I have a client that counts the time and write the time, and has to eat in some time. And I say like, well, nothing, because we talk about the time. Time is meaning because you give the meaning to the time. Minute could be the most longer minute in your life, all your life. It could be nothing. So what are you going to decide?
Yeah, it's a meaning we give to it. That's where we get into trouble. Because ultimately, nothing means anything until we give it a meaning. Yes, we've learned through consensus, through other people creating beliefs in society and all these things, that fat is bad, thin is good. And we just believe that. We have this meaning attached to things, but that's all made up. You see, there's some affirmations I wrote out for myself recently, and one of them is, any thought that brings suffering is showing me where I'm not yet free.
Wow.
The second one, leading from that, is, I get to choose to be free by choosing to focus my attention on thoughts that serve me over and over again until they become my normal, even when everyone else around me are believing a different thing than me.
Wow.
You have power,
Yeah,
always.
I love that. Can you write it for us?
I will send them to type them up and send them to you, because I've got quite a few. They just randomly
Yeah.
came the day. About to it, my husband was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I just need to write. For some reason, I need to write these affirmation things down." And then I was like, "Okay, that was random. I'll put them on my mirror, and then yeah, I'll share."
Yeah. Intuition. I love it. I'm reading a book that I forgot. The Power of Now. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
you read it. Yeah.
Echo Tele.
Yeah. Well, it's so freaking when you hear it in audiobook, because the voices that put in there are so strange. I feel in a Buddha complex. I love it, but it's like very hard to listen for me sometimes.
His voice is unique.
It's, it she likes, okay, I'm going my Buddha meditation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's very good, actually.
Oh, for sure, the book's
Yeah.
amazing.
I think I am in the part where it's talking about love and relationships. And in this part, I'm learning for my relationship, especially with my marriage. And she said, like, okay, there is two options. One, you choosing to suffer when you reject what is happening. That doesn't matter if you like it or not, you are rejecting. Or you're choosing to grow, not waiting from the other growth. You are going to grow. And when you grow, you accept and you decide if you want to stay or you want to leave. But this is your option. You cannot leave. We used to say, oh, I have so many problems. I fight all day. He has, and you blame the other people. And when you blame the other people, you lose your power.
Oh, for sure, you're in victimhood then. Blaming, you're removing yourself from your power because you're in victimhood. But actually, as you've so wisely said from Eckhart Tolle, you always, always have a choice. Number one, choose to stay, but stop resisting what is, and then just live in acceptance. It doesn't mean you prefer what's happening. Preference is different, but preference is neutral. It is what it is. You're stopping fighting and trying to control the other person, and you live in peace. Or you leave. Yes, there'll be things to sort out. Yes, there'll be consequences. You can still leave. I left countries. Like, there was loads of stuff to sort out to live in a different country, but I still did it.
Yeah. And I think the light is that. During your life, you are going to have so many options to accept or not accept. It's not just about when you recover from an eating disorder, you see like, okay, I have my complete backpack full of tools
Mm.
to go through the lives and putting in practice. And I don't know if it's easy, but it's more calm, and you find peace even when it's things like you will never think that you will have peace in that moment. You found peace. But that's because you choose you during the process.
You choose you and you create peace within yourself. Nobody can create it for you. You create it yourself. And going back to fear, how you were saying when you used to watch people talk about recovery, you thought they were lying and all the
Yeah.
things. And I totally get it. The thing is, when you've recovered from an eating disorder, you face your biggest fears. Like they go so deep, like to the core of like not being worthy to live, even to that depth of fear. When you've faced that and overcome and healed that, you've got so much courage and confidence in yourself as a human. So even if I'm afraid of something, I know I'm going to be okay because I've got all this evidence of facing my fears and just figuring it out somehow and still surviving. So you can still be afraid of things that are outside of an eating disorder. You're never afraid of food or your body. But even with other stuff that you're afraid of, you like back your it's like if you were placing bets, I would bet on myself because I know I will make it work somehow. And you too, because look what you've done. You're so
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. So I love that. Like just challenge yourself because you can do it and just play with yourself. You always say, like, put some fun in the recovery. It doesn't have to be so like dramatic and just have to do it and military. It's not like that. You know your best. You know you best than anyone. So you know what is hurting. You know what is happening inside of you. Come with something, or as you say, that's why we are here, right? To help you to find the way and coaching you to find the way for yourself. And I think you mentioned many times supporting is clue in this process, I guess. Yes, you can do it by yourself, but when it's something reflecting you, things that you are not able yet to see or not able yet to act, there is people there that can show you in a better way because they walk also by that path.
Yes, and belief. Let's not underestimate the power of belief. I
Yes.
mean, you know that from being religious as well, the power of belief, right? You, without a shadow of a doubt, I believed in you 100%, even if you doubted. My belief was unwavering, always. And even in like studies from placebo studies with doctors and medicine, the doctor believes going to work. They don't know if it's the placebo or the real pill. But if a doctor believes it's going to work, there's a higher percentage, and this is shown through studies, that it actually works because the patient can feel the energy of the person believing in something for them, and it helps them with the outcome they want. So it doesn't make sense intellectually. It's just the power of energy, the power of belief. Let's not underestimate that at all.
Yes. Yes. I think I actually say yes to you because you say that word. You say, I believe in you. I believe you can recover. And I think I didn't hear that phrase for many years. Probably I hear it the first time I tried to recover it. But after so many fails and so many um, guilty about like couldn't recover all that time, no one's believed me in that moment. So when you say I believe in you, like, wait a minute, you believe in me? Like what? I even believe in myself. How you can believe in me?
And you knew it because it wasn't just words, you felt it. Because anyone can say, "I believe in you," but unconsciously you will feel
Yeah,
whether someone does or not. And that's such a sad thing about the system, that people, start to say things like, "Oh, well, you might have an eating disorder forever, but we can just manage your symptoms."
yeah,
Or, "Fuck no. Why are you even allowing someone to think that, okay, well, this is as good as it gets?" No, it's very simple, not easy. It's very simple to recover from an eating disorder. The fear makes it complicated. It is not complicated. You eat unrestrictedly, you rest and listen to your body, you do the deeper trauma work, but which isn't necessary, like I said, to recover, but it's necessary to stay recovered, because then it's not going to be a coping mechanism you turn to every time. It's never going to be something you're having to constantly be fighting with your entire life, but you eat more to your full mental and physical hunger. You rest and listen to your body, rewire your brain by just acting as the person you want to be. Like when I stopped people pleasing, I was acting as if I wasn't a people pleaser. Oh my God, it was so hard. I was like, oh, it was so hard. Oh, it feels horrible. I've disappointed someone. And I was like freaking out. But I was acting like someone who wasn't a people pleaser. And then before you know it, you then create evidence. So your brain's like, oh, evidence that you can say no and you don't die. And it actually kind of feels nice when the guilt's gone. And then we'll do it again. That's how you change. That's how you rewire your brain. That's it. You act, you want to be the person.
Yeah. And make around, like you say, people please, make people be around you because they accept how you are and they respect you because you show respect to yourself.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you show it to yourself, you don't have to convince anyone to show respect, to show belief, because you have it in yourself and you can reflect it. Do you remember when you say me like, you love your child, but you don't love them as you think you love it? Something like that, because you are not recovered yet. And when you recover, you're going to love it more. Something like that. Yeah.
But when your self love, I don't even want to say increases because that's a joke because you literally are what you are seeking.
Yes.
You are seeking for is exactly what you are. It's like a cosmic joke in a way. When you realize and feel that, all the love expands in all the ways you can give more and you can receive more because it's one of the same.
Yeah. You say it better. See, I changed all the.
I knew exactly what you meant though.
That's why you speak English and I am speaking.
Um, Say it, maybe say that in Spanish, like what I've said for those who
Yeah.
maybe, I think I'm also speaking very fast again. Calm down.
No, I think it's. I did it. Do you understand? Oh, sister, thank you so much. So, how we can all these put it in a little ornament for Christmas, because it's going to be tomorrow. We can hang it in the tree if you celebrate it or whatever holiday you have. Just keep us, remind us our power.
Well, I actually had a gift from a client last month and she bought it for herself, the same one, because of my coaching. And I didn't suggest she get this or do anything. And you're going to laugh because you're going to be like, oh my God, that's so, you can tell that Victoria has coached this client. She bought herself a bracelet that was engraved and she sent me the same one. I've not put it on today. I've not got anything, not even my wedding ring's on today. I don't know why. And it says, remember who the fuck you are.
Yes,
And so that says everything. So even if it's probably a bit too close for Christmas, but if you can get something on the tree or something on your mirror that has that, if that resonates with you, or if the swear word doesn't, or if something else does, and something that speaks to your soul. Even those of you who are like, I wish I could feel something when you say, remember who the fuck you are. If you're struggling with that, maybe something like, let's see, like a bridging belief would be something like, even though I don't feel the power yet, I know it's within me, or something like that, because these powerful affirmations, if you don't feel anything, you need to make it less shiny, but more resonating. And it can sometimes look quite neutral, but that's how you start building. So even that, like, even though I don't feel it yet, the power is within me. Or something so you're reminded. And again, there's nothing like, in fact, can I guide them through like a little closed eye process now to
yeah.
experience something? Okay, let me put my down. Okay, so and obviously you can do this too as well, Carla, if you want.
Yes.
So if everyone is in a position to just have a seat or lie down and close your eyes, and there's no expectations here. So all you need to do is just listen to the sound of my voice. Doesn't matter if anything comes to you, if you can't vision anything, it means you're not ready, and that's perfectly okay. The most important part is you're taking the time to just be with yourself now and listen to my voice. So connect to your physical body and just notice where there might be tension. Maybe your whole entire body is tense, or maybe just parts of your body. And give yourself permission to relax and let that go. We can't force anything, we can't make anything, but what we can do is allow. So allow the tension to just let go. Allow yourself to maybe connect to your heartbeat, even if you can't feel it. I can actually never feel mine, but I can connect to the sensation of it beating and know that that heart beats just for you, for your life, which is such a gift. And feel into your heart center now. So imagine your heart opening. Imagine your chest sort of opening. You might even notice, like I have naturally, just put your shoulders back, open yourself up, open your heart, and just feel how it feels to be open. With your heart open, you might feel both empowerment and fear because you're open and vulnerable now, and that's okay. Whatever you feel, just allow it to be there. And I would like you to imagine that you're sat in a meadow and you're sat on the grass and there's all these beautiful little flowers around you. And it's a spring day, so it's quite sunny, but it's not too hot. Maybe there's some birds in the background. Maybe there's a sound of water just trickling nearby. And notice if there's any breeze. Notice if you can smell any. Notice the warmth in your skin. And just notice that you feel safe, relaxed, and grounded. And as you're sat on this meadow, you see something in the distance. It seems like a kind of light, like an orb, like a really big orb kind of in the distance getting closer, very slowly closer. You know that you're not afraid of this light, and you know somehow that you're just waiting to receive this light. And as this light gets closer, notice it's a person. And of course, it is indeed this highest version of you, this goddess version of you, the version of you who is grounded, safe within herself, completely free in all the ways, so full of love for herself and others, so courageous and strong, gentle and soft, all at the same time. She might even appear golden as this light is around her. And she's almost next to you now. She walks up to you and she asks if she can take a seat next to you. And if that's okay for you, you can allow her to sit next to you and just take a moment to feel what it's like to be in her presence. The energy, the self-empowerment and the self-actualization that's radiating from her, that confidence, but also that love. Just feel what it feels like to be next to her. And I want you to give this opportunity to ask her anything that you want to ask, and she will answer you. So notice what she has to say back to answer your question. And as you're sat there on the meadow together, she shares with you that she actually is the true you. Even though she came from the meadow, she actually lives within you. And so what she wants to do now is show you. So she merges into your body as you're sat on that meadow, and you feel all of that courage, that groundedness, that confidence, that power, all those things that you felt in her presence. You feel that in your whole being now as she's within you, as she always has been, but you've just not been aware. So feel that, all those feelings, that power within your, and now as you're sat on the meadow, allow her to show you whereabouts in your body, whatever comes to you first. For me, it's my heart. Someone else, it might be their lower stomach. It could just be an all over body, whatever she shows for you. And allow the meadow to drift away, but pay attention to your physical body right now, wherever you sit or lie today, as you listen to my voice. And allow yourself to feel that presence of the true you within you. And notice if there's a color there or a sensation, and just connect with that. And what I would like each of you to do before you open your eyes, the next time, maybe today, depending on what time it is for you, whenever something is a yes for you, Whenever you're being courageous, just notice that she's communicating that with you. So start to notice when she shows up because she's always there. All you have to do is get quiet and be still for a couple of minutes, and she will always have the answer. And if you need courage, you can ask her to give it you from that source where she resides, and you will be whatever it is you want to be. So feel that now and just pay attention to how your physical body feels, whether you're sat or lying down. Pay attention to the air around your face in the room or outside, wherever you are. And when I count to 3, you'll open your eyes and you'll be aware of where she resides within you, that quiet, strong, centered, grounded. So 1, 2, 3. Open your eyes and feel, locate, and know. Welcome back.
Love it. What a beautiful present. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. That was nice.
Ah, I
Hmm.
miss this. Thank you.
Like to share with us, Carla, if you asked her a question, what your question was and what her answer was, if you don't mind sharing with your listeners.
Yeah, I mean, I found in all my thorax, not just in my heart. Like I start feeling here in my heart, and then I feel like something pushing me back. Not enough, like just heavy here, but in a very very secure and comfort place. Like I'm safe, and I have it here. And yeah, what I see is this, as you say, I I didn't recognize me until you said like, this light or this person that is all shiny is you. And when I saw her and sit next to me, it was so different. I feel my body change, even the feeling of the sensation of the weather. Yeah, I feel more warm. And I asked her like how stop worry about things. And it didn't answer away. So I just feel more like I put my head next to her and didn't answer until I start feeling all this heavy here part, and she said something like find peace.
Mm. Cold shiver.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And she said, find peace. And she might not have needed to give you anything other than that because do you feel peace now?
Yes. And I find peace in her presence, which is in my presence. I love that. Like here I still feel it here. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
The next time your brain or you notice your brain is in worry, imagine her find peace. And in that instant, you can literally find peace and be in peace. That's how powerful you are.
Yes. Wow. It feels so powerful inside. Like when she said that word peace and I was telling like feeling all this, I understand. I surrendered to the feeling, like, because I thought probably I was resistant, unconscious to this feeling. Like, what is this? When she said find peace and just let it be, it feels like, oh, this is how peace feels. And I have it in,
Yes, you are the source of what you seek.
yeah,
All of us, we give so much to others and we look for it outside of us when we are literally the source of it. We just have to receive it from ourselves.
yeah,
You already have everything you need right here or in your body, in your soul, whatever. You have everything you need.
yeah. And we have that energy to do whatever we want to do. Not like a cringy say, it's like we have the power. You just have to connect it there and listen and surrender to that power. Fighting it.
For sure. And your life will never be the same again. And once you've touched it, it'll be easier to call on again
Yes.
or stay around for longer. And you're human, so you'll have moments where as a new mom, I've also been like, oh my God, like I forgot who I was. I was in stress and panic. And then I've been like, oh yeah, I have the power to just choose how I want to feel by sharing and then asking for help. I am not powerless to this situation.
Yeah.
You always have a choice.
You said like we had to go and create or not have to, but just remember that you have that inside of you and just go and look for it. Now that we pick it, I thought you said during the meditation, like, just take 2, 3 minutes, like some minutes to just stop. Because for sure you cannot go inside of you if you're not stop. You had to make this stop.
Yes. And that song, if you can put that song that you shared with me in the show notes for your listeners, that's still one of my favorite songs. You sent it to me and I was like so grateful you sent it because that song says it all. And I've played that a few times in my motherhood where I'm just like, all I needed was to listen to that song and I'm just all good again.
Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, it's our song, our favorite. I have a share for it and I use it purposely just to remind it. Because I don't know, you see also the graphic of that song. It's like bones.
What is it? Because I can see it on my playlist in my car, but I can't think of the picture of it.
It's bones. It's a thorax, but it's bones. So you can see the ribs. Between the ribs, there is um plants growing, like flowers around it, growing in the and it's so more like when you see this and listen to song, is more related to all
Wait,
of us.
are you talking about Grays into Gardens or
Yes.
what I'm talking? You sent
Oh, I love it. That one. Yeah.
one where it's like your mind's going and then all you have to do, like you're,
Be
I don't need to
quiet.
worry about the future because you're already there.
Yes.
That one.
Okay.
Even though Grays into Gardens is also one of my favorites, but I think it's literally called Quiet.
Quiet. Yes. And it's just 1 minute. It's very short. So I'm going to put it there.
But and I invite people with headphones to listen by themselves and just to receive the wisdom and the energy and the love of that song, and I guarantee you will feel better afterwards.
Yes. Well, what a beautiful present that you give us to us. Repeat this podcast anytime that you need it. And for sure, people can work with you, how people can go and like be touched with this energy.
Thank you. Thing is on my website, that's the easiest place. So victoriakleinsman.com. And if you go to the footer at the bottom, that's like my Instagram, my YouTube, my social media. And I hang out more on Instagram, but there's my email on there. So yeah, have a nosy at my website. Carla's on there somewhere in testimonials.
Yes.
Video Carla did a video testimonial. Yeah, victoriakleinsman.com. And I also actually have a podcast called The Body Love Binge, which is free, obviously. And I have a free support group where I do hot seat coaching. So you can be coached by me for free. And there's like a massive library of loads of previously recorded coaching calls, also all for free. So that's on my website as well, free support group, and you can join.
Yeah, I think that will be a very, very good option if you are not started yet. Go and check the website because, I mean, I've been recovered from Victoria and I can't recommend more. So just go uh, and just, like if you are not speak Spanish, I can help you to translate.
Little trick you can do if you go to the website on Google Chrome anyway,
Yes.
if it's not in your language, if you right click, you can translate to Spanish or English, or because my
Right.
husband's, I'm forever translating everything on my internet from Dutch because I'm not willing to learn Dutch, obviously. So you can just right click and translate to your language.
Yes, yes, but don't now if you listen all this is because you understand probably most of them don't take the risk, go to the Victoria Kleinsman site and then see how many things she has there in the free group. It's amazing. Well, if you want really go forward, write email.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you for having me, my love. I've loved this conversation. And when
Uh,
we stop record, I'll go and grab Koa to show you because he's
yes, I
not
can
with.
wait for that. Thank you so much. Gracias por estar aquí. Feliz Navidad a todos.
Yeah, Feliz Navidad. Feliz
Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Gracias, bye.